Okay, so this person's saying, well, what about white people? How do we as believers fit in? And this is a great question, and Scripture answers this too. So let me take you first to Genesis 10. So, and this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And sons were born to them after the flood. And the sons of Japheth are Gomer and Magog, Madai, and Yawan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Japheth is going to be where the so-called white man comes from today. That's another name for Gentiles, which is where, well, the world calls today white people would come from. Shemuth, Exodus 12 and 38. We see here, and a mixed multitude went up with them also. In Shemuth, Exodus 12 and 19, 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses, for if anyone eats what is leavened, that same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Yasharal. Then it says, whether sojourner or native of the land. Verse 47 of that chapter, it says, in all the congregation of Yasharal to perform it, and when a stranger sojourns with you and shall perform the Pesach or Passover to Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised. And then let him come near and perform it, and he shall be as a native of the land, but let no uncircumcised eat of it. There is one Torah for the native born, and for the stranger who sojourns among. Wayikra, Leviticus 4:27, it says, and if any being of the people of the land sins by mistake, by doing any of the kinds of Yahuwah which are not to be done, and shall be guilty, it says, the Kohen shall make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. 18 and 26, but you shall guard my laws and my right rulings, and not do any of these abominations, the native nor the stranger who sojourns among you. So we see here repeatedly the stranger is to sojourn. Wayikra 24 and 16, and he who blasphemes the name of Yahuwah shall certainly be put to death, and all the congregations certainly stone him, the stranger as well as the native. So Adbar, Numbers 9 and 14. And when a stranger sojourns among you, then he shall perform the Pesach, Passover of Yahuwah. He shall do according to the law of the Pesach and according to its right ruling. You have one law, both for the stranger and for the native. Adbar, Numbers 11 and 4. And the mixed multitude who were in their midst. Now this is talking about after they've left Egypt. Devarim, Deuteronomy 29 and 9. This is Moshe speaking. Therefore you shall guard the words of his covenant and do them, so that you prosper in all that you do. All of you standing today before Yahuwah your Elohim, your leaders, your tribes, your elders, your officers, all the men of Yasharal, your little ones, your wives, and the sojourner who is in the midst of your camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water. Sojourner who joined themselves to Yasharal were to serve the Israelites. Yashayahu, Isaiah 11 and 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Yasha, standing as a banner to the people. Unto him the Gentiles shall seek. Now this is a reference to Yahusha. The Gentiles are to seek out Yahusha, and his rest shall be esteemed. And it shall be in that day that Yahuwah puts his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people. It lists those from Ashur and Mizraim, Pathros, Cush, Elam, and Shinar, Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. That's a reference to the Gentiles, or what the world calls today white people. But again, these are those that join themselves to Yasharal and serve their Alua Yahuwah. Yashayahu, Isaiah 14 and 1. For Yahuwah has compassion on Yakub, and shall again choose Yasharal, and give them rest in their own land. And the strangers shall join them, and they shall cling to the house of Yakub. So, okay, when we come into this truth, when we accept Yahuwah and Yahusha, we are to accept and embrace and cling to the covenanted people. Yashayahu 49 and 6. I shall give you as a light to the Gentiles, to be my deliverance to the ends of the earth. Yashayahu 56 and 6, and also the sons of the foreigner who join themselves to Yahuwah to be his servants, all who guard the Shabbat and not profane it, and hold fast to my covenant. Them I shall bring to my Kadash mountain, and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their slaughterings are accepted on my altar, for my house is called a house of prayer for all the peoples. Yashayahu, Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of the foreigners shall build your walls, and their sovereigns serve you. And then in verse 12 it says, for the nation and the reign that do not serve you shall perish, and those Gentiles shall utterly be laid waste. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring in the midst of the peoples. And all who see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed YAHUAH'S BARUK. Yahu, Jeremiah 16:19. O Yahuwah, my strength and my stronghold, my refuge. In the day of distress, the Gentiles shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers have inherited only falsehood, and there is no value in them. 21. Therefore, see, I am causing them to know. This time I cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahuwah. How's it called? Ezekiel 47:22. And it shall be that you divide your land as a lot, as an inheritance for yourselves and for the strangers who sojourn in your midst and who bear children among you, and they shall be to you as native born among the children of Yasharal with you, and have an inheritance in the midst of the tribes of Yasharal. And it shall be in that whatever tribe the stranger sojourns, that you give him his inheritance. 11:17. Now listen to this. And if some of the branches were broken off, that's speaking of Yasharal, and you being a wild olive tree, that's the Gentiles, have been grafted in among them and come to share the root, that's YAHUSHA, and fatness of the olive tree, that's all of Yasharal, do not boast against the natural branches. If you boast, you don't bear the root will bear you. And if he didn't spare the natural branches, he might not spare you either. So Gentiles that can be grafted in can also be broken off. Zone Revelation 7 and 9. After this, I looked and saw a great crowd, which no one was able to count, of all nations, tribes, peoples, and tongues, standing before the throne and the Lamb. So we see here the Gentiles that adhere to these things in these scriptures can make it into the new kingdom. All praise to the Most High.